to select. Go, let's go.
Hasn't started though, but well, I guess it did start, but it's in a weather delay right now. It had a lot going into it. NC State at Notre Dame, crazy stuff happening there. The school actually announced a few minutes ago that the weather made the new video board short circuit, so it's not working. I'd be pretty mad if I was the administration if you had to replace something that they just put in. But when are we going to see some football out there?
I mean, it looks tough. It seems like on the weather, it looked like it would kind of go through kind of quickly, but they still haven't restarted this game. And Haley, we kind of talked about this earlier. The team that is able to really get their juices back going, right, to really focus in and go back out there and execute, that's going to be the team that wins this game, because I've been a part of weather delays. It's all about the team that can stay focused. When you're not playing for an hour or two, you kind of get a lull, right, and you got to build that energy back up. So whatever team comes out, builds that energy back up and is able to execute. There will be some weather issues, right? Ball security will be a big factor in that game when they resume play. Whoever can take care of the ball, get the energy back up and execute, it's going to give them a leg up in winning this game.
Yeah, I want to see the quarterback I want to see that necklace that he's got made out of his rib. So I want to see that. Someone put that on social media as soon as possible. Let's get to some of the top 25 scores. We gave you a look a couple minutes ago. Not too many changes on here as well. Leger, anything, I asked you before if there was anything that stood out. Now that we've got some scores going on, any surprises up there this time around?
No surprises, really. I feel like Colorado-Nebraska was going to be a tight game. I actually thought it would be a lot tighter than this. I believe the line was -2.5 for Colorado. And it's because of the Nebraska turnovers why that score is the way it is. The Nebraska defense has played lights out. They've done a really good job of minimizing Shedeur Sanders as far as throwing the ball down the field. He's had a few scampers, but he hasn't been able to really push the ball down the field. We saw the weather delay with Notre Dame and NC State. Now look for Ohio State to really establish dominance in this second half versus Youngstown State. Again, exchange scores in the beginning of the game, but then score 21 unanswered points.
Do you think there's anyone on there who can turn it around, maybe get an upset today?
I think NC State has a chance to get an upset.
Okay.
I don't think Nebraska has a chance the way they're turning the football over. But NC State, again, I picked them to cover the 7 points. You got a weather delay, right? It's going to be a muddy game. I talked about it. Ball security will be a big thing. This could be a drag-out, grimy game. I think NC State has a chance to win it at the end.
All right, well, there you have it. There's your scores. More HQ on the other side.
When something is off, it can feel. Notre Dame and NC State currently still in a weather delay. They've had some storms moving through the area, so they had lightning in the region, so they pulled everybody off, evacuated the stadium, took fans out. Did have some lightning strikes close to the venue, which certainly provided a bit of a scare for some, but it looks like they're going to be getting back to game action shortly. Ryan Harris is on the call for this game as Notre Dame lead 3-0 over NC State. Ryan joining us now. Ryan, what's the update in terms of when players are going to get back out there and when the game's going to get back underway?
Well, we just got word players should return about 2:25 for a 10-minute warm-up. And then once the game begins, there may even be a shortened halftime to keep the game on schedule. But this is a big stoppage. North Carolina State came out to play, and Notre Dame benefits from this breakage as coaches go back to the locker room to figure out how to beat some of the blitzes and the tenacity that North Carolina State has started the game with.
Yeah, Notre Dame came in as a 7-point favorites, but have a 3-0 lead at this point. Sam Hartman's already had a fumble. In terms of the weather, though, just want to quickly ask you, once they resume, does it look like you're going to be able to get the rest of the game in, or could we be seeing another delay?
We could be seeing another delay. The storms are coming up from the East Coast seaside. You see right there, the scoreboard was out at one point. Power went out at one point. The loudest lightning bolt and thunder to follow it that I've ever heard. Felt like it was 8 feet away from us. But here in the booth, Jeremy, I got comfortable shoes and I'm staying dry, so life is good.
How's your flight looking out for tonight?
Already changed it, leaving tomorrow. So going to spend a wild night here in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's 3 college towns, though, so I'm sure I'll find a good burger or something to enjoy. You know us linemen are always looking for the food here, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get some good recommendations. Ryan Harris joining us from North Carolina. NC State and Notre Dame set to get back out on the field right away. Ryan, part of the radio crew on the call for this game today, is alma mater, the Fighting Irish, up by 3 on NC State Wolfpack as they get set to resume there. As Ryan said, weather will continue to move through, so we could see another weather delay at Carter Finley Stadium here in Raleigh. But for now, players set to go back out there. They're going to get this game back underway, probably a shortened halftime, see if they can squeeze it in before we get more inclement weather moving through.
Oklahoma 16.5-point favorites here. No team has more road wins in the month of September since 2019 than SMU. 7-1, and you kind of like him in this spot.
I like SMU in this game. Now, I'm not picking them to win, but I like them to cover, right? Because if you look at their quarterback, Preston Stone, it's his era now. Tanner Mordecai is gone. He's at Wisconsin. And Preston Stone played really well last year, 3 touchdown passes. This, I think, will be a shootout. I believe the line is, 68.5 over?
Yeah.
So that lets you know Vegas believes this is going to be a shootout as well. I believe 16.5 points is just way too much. I know Oklahoma was real effective on offense and scored almost on every possession they had last week. But I like Preston Stone and SMU to keep this game a lot closer than the experts think. 16.5, Layla plus 16.5 with SMU.
I know I made the case about the Sun Best Conference, but we're just going to ignore what happened to Arkansas State last weekend against Oklahoma.
Yeah, we know.
But I look at it like this. I'm not taking too much stock in the Oklahoma defense and what they did against Arkansas State. However, this game is about which defense can you trust, which faces 2 high-powered offensive attacks. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma's defense. I feel like Brett Venables can do enough to where he can help cover the spread because they have better defensive personnel. So I'm trusting defense here and laying the points with Oklahoma.
Nice little factoid from our research department. SMU is tied with Alabama for the most wins, period, in the month of September since 2019. They've got 14. So just
I tell you, I'm trying to tell you.
Food for thought. 19, Wisconsin at Washington State. Next, Washington State, 5.5-point underdogs, a total of 58.5. Cougars beat Wisconsin at home last year, their first win versus the Badgers in school history. So, Emory, what's your play?
Well, this was the upset I called last year here, and I'm using the same logic that I used last season for this season, although different pieces involved. However, that defensive line for Washington State is still pretty doggone good. Yes, they're going to be without Deion Henley, who's off doing great things with the Chargers in the NFL. But on the other side, you got an improved Cam Ward, who threw for over 400 yards last weekend, 5 touchdown passes, expecting to play better in this game than he did last year when they upset Wisconsin. I still like this D-line of Washington State, so I'm taking them plus the points here against Wisconsin.
I'm right there with you, Emory. Plus 5.5 with Washington State. But honestly, sprinkle some money on the money line. I like Washington State to outright win in an upset. You talked about Cam Ward. The progression from last year to this year, you saw him throw for over 400 yards in that game last week. Tanner Mordecai, the transfer over to Wisconsin, really struggled. 2 interceptions last week. I like this Washington State team. I believe they went outright. Again, you want to put some money down on the plus 5.5. That's, but more bang for your buck. Pick Washington State down on the money line. Okay. I believe they win on the upset.
First ever meeting in Washington in this series, which dates back to 1976. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh next. First meeting since 2012 between the former Big East members. Bearcats won big over Eastern Kentucky last week in Scott Satterfield's debut as their head coach. Emory, for you, what's the play that you like to catch?
Let's go.